This photograph comes from a series that I've called the Student Revolution in South Africa, the modern student revolution. It started in the year 2015 when a student at the University of Cape Town threw human feces, shit, onto a sculpture of a man by the name of Cecil John Rhodes. Cecil John Rhodes was the arch-imperialist, a British subject that originally came to South Africa, made a fortune in diamonds, and spent a lot of that money on university education, both here and in places like Oxford with the Rhodes scholarships. Anyway, this student objected to the presence of a sculpture of Cecil John Rhodes in the center of the campus at the University of Cape Town. And he claimed to speak for many black students who said that they objected to having to pass this sculpture, which they found insulting, every day on the way to and from their lectures. Within a month, the university had removed the sculpture, and I was there on that day. The university had hired a rigger and a crane. They lifted the sculpture off its pedestal, and probably a couple of thousand students had gathered here on the campus to watch this event. Their hands rose as though in some magic ritual, some religious ritual, as the sculpture was raised, and I couldn't understand at first what was happening. And then I realized that in every pair of hands there was a cell phone or a camera. The people here were much more interested in photographing the raising of this sculpture than in actually seeing it. I found this a very strange phenomenon indeed, but anyway, that's what happened. And that began a series of events that I've now called the Student Revolution. It was in full swing, and now the students went on the rampage. They attempted to burn down the office of the principal of the university. They burnt a number of paintings, more than 20 paintings, and 2 photographs. They were burnt here, at a parking spot on the campus. I personally found this development to be very disturbing because it was the very antithesis of the democracy for which we in the country had fought for so long. In democracy, when you have differences, you talk. You don't use fists, you don't use matches, you don't use guns or knives. You talk. And this was the opposite of talking. Here are the remains of the paintings and photographs that were burnt by students at the University of Cape Town in the Rhodes Must Fall campaign. So we had a situation in which at the University of Cape Town students were in violent revolt. What did the university do in response to this revolution? It appointed a committee of academics to go around the campus and remove or cover any piece of artwork that they considered to be potentially offensive to this group of students. In other words, the university imposed censorship on its own art collection. On the left, we have what is a drawing by a woman called Diane Victor. It portrayed a black man born into the belly of a bull, naked. and it was considered to be unsuitable for a white woman to render a black man naked. What you have left here are the spaces of some woodcuts by a very well-known, highly respected South African artist by the name of Cecil Scottness. I'm not sure what these works were, but they were very likely nude Zulu men, Zulu warriors, that were rendered in woodcut. This was not suitable because a white man should not render black men nude. And so on, and so on, and so on. Some 70 or more pieces of art were censored by this community of academics. Here are the hooks on which the two photographs of Molly Blackburn hung in the Molly Blackburn Hall on the campus of the University of Cape Town. Photographs are gone because they were burnt by the students. I find this was a shocking demonstration of anti-democratic or non-democratic action by the students. The student revolution in the Rhodes Must Fall campaign was principally a revolution, if you like, or a protest by black students, but there were quite a lot of white students who joined them. And the essential ethic of this movement was a protest against post-colonial art, whatever these things were. The university has in its collection a sculpture by the name of Willie Bester, B-E-S-T-E-R, Willie Bester. Willie Bester sculpted a woman known as the Hottentot Venus. He sculpted her in metal, which is the medium that he uses. And the sculpture stood in the main library of the University of Cape Town. The students presumably thought that Willie Bester was a white Afrikaner male, and certainly therefore unqualified to render a black woman naked. And so they covered her, or they covered the sculpture in cloth, winding it round and round the sculpture, until all that is left visible is the face, the fingers of one hand, and the feet. And in order to explain the significance of this sculpture to Willie Bester, I have to go back in history and tell you a little bit about the woman who is depicted here, Salkie Bartman. Salkie Bartman, Willie Bester, the sculptor. If she was the other, in other words, this peculiar Hottentot woman, he was also the other, because in terms of our South African racial legislation, in which we were all classified racially after the age of 16, Willie Bester, who was the son of a black parent and a colored parent, and could not therefore be classified as black or colored, was classified officially as colored other 07. So he represents, if you like, an exquisite case of the other, as did Salkie Bartman. And so this sculpture was particularly meaningful to Willie Bester, who I went to see after the sculpture had been closed by the students. By leaving the sculpture centrally here in the main library of the university with this cloth wrapped around it to hide its nudity. So what we have here in South Africa in the universities is, to my mind, a violation or an abrogation of, in particular, the freedom of expression.